Welcome, everybody. This is again coming back to our podcast where we started from last year. We have had already 7 episodes, so seven lovely guests. And today I'm so excited to have Elena with the first guest for this kind of new block from it. So for people, if you haven't heard this podcast or haven't seen them before, my name is Pirita and I'm from Finland, but I live here in Edinburgh, and I'm a dance artist. And these podcasts are really just hoping that they will get some new inspiration, some new energy for your own, perhaps your own dance journey as well. But we are now live on Facebook as well, so I will keep my eye on the chat. So any time throughout our conversation, feel free to ask any questions. I think Elena will be happy to answer anything that comes along in there.
Yes.
But I will just first get Elena to introduce herself a little bit. So can you tell where you're from and what kind of profession you have there?
Hi. So my name is Elena, and I live in Finland, in a city called Lahti. And I have studied to be a musical artist, and that's what I do. And also, I am a teacher, and this year I'm teaching music, and also I'm writing and doing my own theater music play in Finnish from this Finnish composer that I really like, and I'm going to be performing her performances or her songs in my theater play later on, probably next year. And then I'm singer, a professional singer.
Nice. Cool. So I know a little bit about you, and we have been working now also closely now a little bit more, almost a year soon.
Yes.
So I know a little bit about your background, but if you can tell a little bit for others as well in there, where kind of your dance journey started. How did you start with your dancing?
So I started dancing when I was a teenager first, and I didn't dance that much then, but like a little, it was like a hobby on top of all the music that I was doing. And then when I uh, started to figure out what I want to study when I was 19, I went to study musical theater where I had dancing quite a lot there. And I'm not like a professional dancer, but I'm I've got quite a lot of dancing in my training when I was studying. And then of course I've been dancing in different musicals since then. But mainly I'm more like a singer slash actor. And those are more what I kind of do. And then of course dancing is needed in musicals. And then well, since having children and not being in anymore in the school where you get all those dance lessons, I haven't been dancing so much. It has been going in kind of phases, that when I've had time to going to dance lessons, and then there might be phases where I didn't have time at all. So this is nice now to have a continuous dancing now for almost a year.
Mhm. Yeah. What kind of dances you started to do when you were a teenager? What kind of styles you were doing mostly?
I started with hip hop actually, and then after that I've mainly been doing show jazz. That's been and contemporary, yeah, contemporary and show.
Cool. Amazing. And how do you think now, if we think, I'm always kind of asking this question in this kind of crazy time that we are still living in this pandemic, how has your dancing now changed? If you think about a little bit, how was the life before the pandemic and how is it now? How do you think has what's the biggest difference that has been for you with dancing?
Well, now, since I started this, I have a routine which I haven't had for many years now, I would say. That, of course, the routine changes also with what work I'm doing. Like, it's very different doing theater work or being a day like teacher in the daytime. So I need to kind of adjust the dancing to that. But the main thing that like made it different is that now I get to do it regularly.
Mm, yeah, yeah. And yeah, I also know that you have kids in there. So yeah, I guess your life has also changed a little bit throughout the kids.
Yeah,
How old are the kids now, by the way?
4 and 7. Oh well, no, he's 6, but he'll be very soon 7.
So still young as well, of to
Yeah,
adapt on dancing with that
yeah,
time of life as well. Amazing. Well, yeah, like I said, we have been now working closely more on also almost a year. It's gonna be soon enough, and you've been having more kind of regular classes in the group back program. What did you think of even before kind of starting to now do more regular classes in there? What did you felt you were a little bit struggling with? If you think before kind of now diving further on the dancing.
do you mean like before I started dancing with you, or
Yeah.
yeah?
Yeah, before getting more that structure.
Yeah, I think the hardest thing was to get the routine to go to a dance lesson. Well, like the city where I live in, we have this kind of dance lessons for professionals who live here, but they're very like seldomy, and usually it's like 1 month every week we have it, and then there might be like 6 months break, and then there's another kind of a block because there are other teachers who teach and then dancers who come.
Mm,
So it's been very unregular, and that's the main one that I've had time to go to, like those lessons.
yeah.
But they've been so unregular, and then also most of them were cancelled because of when COVID hit and all that.
Mm,
So it's been very hard to get a routine and to get it going so that I would go to every lesson that there is.
yeah.
And also, it's been a little hard that this area where I live in and the dance lessons that I go to, like all the people that I dance with are like 15 years younger than me.
Mm,
So, kind of finding that connection with them is probably not the easiest. And then they usually like have their own own groups and stuff. So I feel very left out in those kind of dance lessons. But every now and again, they're of course fine
mm,
as
yeah.
well.
Yeah. Well, I've heard more with adults is always like if there is in that city where you are, there's not classes for adults, especially,
Not many.
then it's more of going with like 15 plus or 60 plus classes and you're there as it might feel a little bit, yeah, sometimes
It,
awkward. What has also stopped many adults of kind of going because
yeah,
there's not any kind of classes as well. So
yeah.
definitely I can understand that. And yeah, I will keep my eye on the chat as well. So please, if you're there also listening to this live, please go ahead and put any questions. We will kind of get back to them. I can see that there is already one question, so we will get back to that soon. So now that you kind of found a more kind of structure, what do you think? What has been now the best thing? What you have got from dancing at the moment, or what dance has kind of brought to your life at the moment?
I think it's brought kind of the feeling that I'm taking care of myself
Mm,
and I care for myself, because I think that's the worst thing that I do for me is that I forget to take care of myself with this going to work every time and taking care of other people like children and all that, which is of course important to do, but then I forget me. And for me, as the person I am, it's very important to have that very like exercise that makes me sweat and makes me feel that I've done something.
mm,
And that's why dancing feels like it's one of the best ones for me. I like that. And I also like stretching. I feel better in my whole body when I stretch
mm.
on top of the dancing and all that. So I think it's that I've got a routine to also take care of myself.
Okay, nice. Yeah, and it's super important for all, especially women. What we have been talking even in our coaching sessions, that I've been telling everybody on so much, the talks that I go through with the program, of people also who apply or people that come to my classes, and I talk them about a lot about what they've been struggles, and everybody kind of feels like they will find the time to take care of other people, but putting own time kind of first feels hard. And I
Yeah.
think especially with moms out there, I feel it's putting the kids first and themselves last, which is then of what's the energy you can give forward if you don't have any more energy for
Yeah.
yourself.
Exactly.
So amazing that you have kind of found that for yourself in there. There was a question on there on the live as well, that how did you find me?
Actually, um, I had been Googling for a while, like dance lessons online. It had been, and I had been in YouTube many times. I had put like different dances, and I did a few, but they're like every time when I found them, I always chose not a very good one for me, and they were often very easy and more like a Zumba style one. And it was very hard to find a good one that would be one that I would feel like this is what I really want to do. And then I don't know what was it, my Facebook feed or whatever, you know, how nowadays when you Google something, then everything, then you have all these pop ups from everywhere that, oh, dancing, dancing. And then one of them happened to be an ad for Pirita's dance lessons.
Mm,
And there was some campaign then. So I decided to look it up. I had a few also that came also from American, um, similar type ones. And and then, but the one with Pirita caught my eye because she was Finnish.
mm,
So that's why I wanted to check it out and what it's like.
mm,
And then there was, I think, the first thing that I had to do was like schedule a time to talk to you about like, would it be for me?
mm,
And then when we talked together, and I kind of the thing that struck me that I wanted to join was
mm,
the fact that it's not that I'm dancing alone;
mm,
it's that like we're together in it.
mm,
It's not that I'm just alone at home looking at some dance lesson and I don't know how I'm doing, but it's that I actually take a video of myself and send it to Pirita so that
mm,
she can give me feedback what I'm doing wrong or what can I do better is probably a better way of saying. So then, because I didn't know Pirita beforehand at all, like we've never met or anything, even though like we have very similar like I mean we've been dancing our lives and you know I'm half British and you're in Scotland.
yeah,
Okay, well it's not very very similar but kind of we could have bumped into each other
yeah,
during these years. But then with that uh, finding that and then I like first I was kind of forcing myself that I really need to do this because my dancing has been really bad. Like I hadn't been dancing for like almost a year properly, and I could feel it in my body that it was like every time I went to an audition to dance, I just wasn't. I didn't feel like I'm home in my body.
mm,
So then when I kind of got past the fact that I'm doing this because I have to, then I started to kind of find the joy in it that I'm actually doing it for me, and that this is actually the only moment that I can do it so that I feel like I'm like enjoying exercising, for example. Or
mm,
yeah, it was November for me, like it's been a year, which is the darkest time in Finland, and
mm,
it's just not the nicest time to go jogging outside or
mm,
like that kind of stuff. So that's when I feel like I'm starting to seek different options to do exercising inside.
mm, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. And yeah, it's the similar of how many people are like, oh yeah, your post has just kind of appeared, and yeah, Facebook is so clever. And I always remember of my friends saying like Facebook is sometimes clever than her husband, and I think this is so true. But in my case, I feel that I'm lucky for it, because then it feels like my posts are going to the right people
yeah,
who really who kind of resonates what the things that I am doing with the program. So it's much more easier to help those people as well. Like it was amazing. Like you said, we haven't met before and physically, and there's a lot more people that I haven't met either who I've been met from the program,
Yeah.
from the classes, which I hope one of these days we will have a chance then to organize some kind of a dance boot camp for getting all of you guys together to really train and getting that kind of little bit closer to each other. But
Yeah.
it is of that moment of training with somebody else, like in so much I think, which I felt personally I hated online stuff for so long, because the only experience I had is that it's something that you just get some program or you get some classes and you're so alone with it. Like
Mm,
even in just some kind of this normal dance lesson situation, you know that you're not alone in there. But
mm,
the experiences that I had from kind of online stuff before was mostly that I felt like I'm alone. And
mm.
it just, even when you are professional, you just want to feel like there's somebody still of also just telling you what to do. And
Well,
then,
yeah. And actually, what happened to me, like my friend, when I told you about that I'm going to your dance lessons, she's also a professional dancer and also has been teaching.
mm,
She asked me like, what have I kind of got new from it? And for me, what was is like, because I sent the video for you,
mm,
you really look at the video and you know what to say to me, what to do better. And you've said things that people don't see while you're in a dance lesson where there's like 20 other similar women as me. Because even though the dance teacher looks what I'm doing, they might not look it so kind of much as you do. So then I've got two very important new kind of things to make dancing easier for me that Pirita has noticed in my pliés. First of all, she had one to kind of activate my inner thigh muscle, and then other was how to um, get the balance
mm,
under the foot onto the right part of the leg,
yeah,
kind of.
yeah. Yeah, and those huge ones. But yeah, it is exactly what you even when I kind of built the whole program, I didn't know would it kind of work. But what I feel even more in enjoyment out of it is that when you guys send the videos, I can honestly just focus for one person, and I can
Mm,
just with that video, because I can stop and I can go kind of back and I can
mm,
keep going slower. It's so much more easier to really see the things even further than your eyes can quickly catch even from the class.
yeah, exactly. And it's easier to get also feedback by saying, when Pirita says like what's actually wrong and what can I do to make it better,
Mm,
other than when I'm in a dance lesson and then the teacher looks at me and says, there's something wrong there. But then I don't get any feedback like what's wrong. But because she sees in the moment that it's wrong, or he,
mm,
but there's no kind of solution in that moment because you can't reverse it, or you know, you just saw that okay, that wasn't right, but what was the issue? I don't know.
yeah, yeah, and it's been. I think that's the biggest thing I have started to enjoy in being in this and doing the program a little bit differently than most of the people. Still don't really kind of always notice of the all the possibilities. But what I have been so curious to work with you guys is to understand all the possibilities we can find of working in online and making most of it. So not
Yeah,
just the easy way, of course, is a lot of work, but it's there's so much possibilities to just just get really most of it from
yeah,
that moment. Well, now that you have been working with me also closer, and it's you have had more that structure with your own dancing as well, and like you said, you have been dancing more as well in there. What did you felt on kind of from the start and maybe comparing now? Has your kind of struggles kind of changed what you were struggling first when you kind of started compared what you feel like you're a little bit struggling now?
or when I started with you,
Yeah,
or
now of getting more that kind of structure there on your dancing.
um, well, no, I kind of have. Well, probably like in the beginning, I didn't know what can I do better
Mm.
so much. But then since you've been giving those instructions how, so it's kind of like using those in dancing every time to make it a routine, so that I know that I will use my inner thighs, for example, or will have my leg in the right position when I'm doing a pirouette,
Mm.
or like going up, or then like being grounded
Mm.
more to the ground. Those kind of things to make them that they come as a routine every time I dance.
Mm.
But then in the beginning was maybe just to do them in general, to learn to even once remember to do it right.
Mm.
So maybe that's the difference.
Mm. Oh. And now that you have had a more structure and you've been doing it now for a while, what's you also kind of when I asked you about what's the kind of the things, how would you put it in one line, what dance has given you, and you put like, yeah, getting that exercise, but meeting new friends and connecting, but getting the enjoyment of the dance for yourself. Why do you think if I now ask you why do you dance? What dance means for you?
It means for me my time with me and making me feel better in myself, and it also gives me like confidence, because that reminds me, well, I keep myself better, I have a better posture and all that, and then I feel like I've done some work. I feel it in my body, and that makes me feel always good.
Nice. Have anybody, I will sometimes ask this from for people who have been dancing with me more and more, and have anybody from your like husband or anybody close friend, have they noticed any changes from you from now?
um I don't know. I haven't seen almost anyone, so um, it's very difficult to say that. But um, well, I don't know. I guess like um, maybe just confidence. I can like see it in the way that um, my husband sees that it makes me feel good and better, so he wants to support me and give me the time that I can dance when I want to,
Amazing.
and kind of having that that he sees that I feel better with myself. So of course he's happy that I'm happy, and that kind of way.
Yeah.
So
I
maybe
think
that.
yeah. Yeah, and that is a huge thing, having a partner that also sees that that's something that is keeping you happy and keeping you healthy, and he's supporting of that of you doing it. So
Mm,
fantastic. And I think, yeah, with you have also two kids and then work life, so it's like family, work life, and then as well your kind of the other profession there that you have is
yeah,
a lot of plates kind of spinning. So
yeah,
good to have that partner that is honestly supporting of
yeah.
going for it. And yeah, there was also a comment about more of that kind of um, group classes. Teachers doesn't always have possibility to really see one dancer and what the one dancer is doing. And
Mm.
yeah, and for my kind of the course, it's the chance to get that individual help what to also do. How you feel about the individual help that you have got from me? How does that felt for you?
Do you mean with the, if I send you a dance lesson and you tell me what I need to do?
Yeah, and everything that we kind of have been doing.
Well, I think it's been really great, because I really would like to have that every time I go to a dance lesson, because often many teachers do so that when they see that they need to give feedback to someone, they say generally to the whole class, and I never know, is it me or is it someone else? Like, is it, would that be for me? But I always take everything that the teacher says like it would be for me, even if it wouldn't be, because I don't know if they just say generally. So this is kind of nice that all the feedback that I get is straight for me, and it is for me, not for anyone else. Even though Pirita might often say that this is something that the rest of them can think about, because it's like a common problem that people have whilst they dance. But it's very nice to know that this feedback is for me, rather than guessing kind of, did I do it right or wrong? And then also, like when I have an audition coming up and I have something specific that I need to do, like for example, I had one audition a few weeks ago where I had to dance in heels. So then I just asked Pirita, does she have any lessons where I could practice dancing in dance heels? And then she said, yeah, just wait a second. Then she just put it up online, like in hours or something. And I was like, oh, cool. So then I just suddenly had a dance lesson for heels. And that was very nice because it's really good that I get practice in heels, I get practice in tap dancing shoes, I get practice in hip hop style, like whatever style I want to dance in, I dance.
Yeah, yeah. And it's a lucky thing that I have recorded so many on the live classes. There's a big big folder of different classes. So
Yeah.
yeah, it's amazing. Of I'm always said of people, as much as people keep on asking me and telling me what they need, more than I can really honestly help. But otherwise, it kind of goes into that guessing game of like, okay, what do they think if nobody's telling me? But it's really easy to help when somebody's like, okay, I need this. It's like,
Mm.
okay, I'll find it, and then we get quicker kind of forward with things.
Yeah.
It's really interesting the point that you said it, that the fact that even I know that I'm going more on, there's some in-person classes starting. I know that some of the live classes for me as well is that group situation, and I need to more give the instructions for the group, and it's not giving just always just individually, and this program is more of going into that individually. And now then you kind of said it, that it's even if I being in the group situation, and when the teacher is saying that, correcting something and giving feedback, and you start wondering like, oh, what, well, I kind of thought that I was doing that, but if they're saying it, maybe I did it.
Yeah.
You start kind of guessing yourself as well, like, oh, did I
Mm.
honestly do it? So yeah, that's a really, yeah, interesting that you brought that up. That's a good point of yeah, how the individual feedback is really hugely helpful, uh,
Mm.
especially for people who are, I think everybody deserves it, and everybody should get it, the individual feedback. But I
Mm.
think so often people are a little bit afraid of taking it, feeling like
Yes.
never good enough if they get it. But if they can
Yeah.
see that, it just helps to move quicker forward, to
Yeah.
like you said, enjoying dance, and even more, you said beautifully, of having being home with your body. And
Mm.
I think of everybody's kind of wanting to get there, so
Yeah.
finding that for yourself. Well, now that you guys are also starting, I asked from the group as well of, did they have any questions, and there were one of other dancer who is also in the same group as you, and I have thrown you guys a new challenge, which is our performance challenge. And I think from the group, you're the first one who's kind of the big smile in the face when I said, "Oh, I have a new challenge for you guys." But yeah, throughout the kind of the program, people go at different places, but more and more longer than people are, there's going to be that performance challenge happening, and now it's happening for you guys. And like I said, I think you were the the first one who was really happy about it.
Yes.
And the question was from the group as well, of how do you are feeling now going towards the performance challenge, because you have that performance experience. How do you take that challenge?
Well, I take it just as another performance. Like when I'm a performer, I just love performing, and it doesn't matter what way of performing in it. I'm probably more like I'm a very freelance slash open-minded performer, that I like to do all kinds of stuff. So I kind of take everything as a challenge that I really like to like. I'm very looking forward to doing that challenge. So in the same way, I'm feeling I'm going to this, that it's just fun to be performing in another different way with different people and a different style.
Mm. Yeah, yeah. And are you sometimes getting nervous still?
Yeah, but I think teaching makes me more nervous than performing. Like teaching in front of teenagers is like much more like um makes me more, is the word scared, or
Yeah, yeah,
than going on a stage with 1,000 people looking at me to
yeah.
sing or dance or act.
Mm,
So
yeah, yeah.
yeah,
And it is of why the performance challenge is there as well. If I believe that all people have a little bit experienced that performance side, it just gives them another level of confidence of throwing yourself, even though you have no idea what's happening. Because
yeah,
sometimes in just performances, you have no idea what can happen.
yeah,
It's out from your control. And what I so often feel, and I'll be working with so much of dance dance lovers, what I call you guys, people who have dance as their hobby, and they're like, oh, I don't know, like it's that performance, and it's just that it's that moment of you can't control it, you can't control it, you just have to let go. But it's just it teaches so many things. But like I said, it's every time of going with a new performance, even though that you have done it a while, I always have this saying that the moment that I stop being nervous before I go to a stage, I will stop it because it has become about too big of routine out of it. Like that little nervousness of just it kind of prepares your mind what you're gonna kind of do. It's just kind of that prepares, but it's not that way like you're scared and nervous. It's just a good kind of a nervous feeling.
yeah,
I guess they more of the people from the group of who hasn't had that performance experience, they're thinking they're going through a different emotions in there because they haven't had that experience before. But because you kind of know that it's out from your control and you just kind of have to throw yourself in there, you're kind of
yeah,
more ready to kind of go for it. But it's like I said to the whole group, I will it's a challenge, so I will find the way of making it a little challenge for you as well.
yes. I'm looking forward to that,
Yeah.
especially.
Yeah, but that's what I think is people who have even little bit performance experience are more ready to kind of throw themselves and are looking forward to doing that. But
Yeah,
it's gonna be interesting what's gonna be happening, and hopefully then after we can hear from you again, or maybe from the whole group, what did the performance challenge then give for you?
yeah,
Well, now that you have been doing dancing more as a structured more, and you've found a little bit a new way for yourself, perhaps just keep on going with it as well. On what is the thing that you feel at this moment that you're kind of focusing with your dancing? What do you feel is kind of the struggle, or what do you find is hard? What are you focusing on?
well, I started a new job not many weeks ago. So right now, the biggest struggle is to kind of find the strength to do it after work. Now that my time is completely different since the summer, like my day job times, it's much harder to find that slot to use only for me to dance. So that is my biggest struggle right now. So yeah, maybe that routine to keep dancing.
Mm,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. And how you're feeling about that struggle? Do you feel a little bit stressed, or do you feel like it's like it will go, we find a way? How are you feeling about that?
Well, I feel quite okay about it. I mean, I feel like I know that I need to dance for my body. Like I just really need it. I need the movement, and now even more than ever, because when I'm performing, I always dance anyway, usually on stage and all that. So there's even that little movement that my body gets. But then with this, uh, like now when I have this teaching job, I'm still kind of practicing how to do it, um, and to find how to make it kind of so they wouldn't be so much taking my time. It's important that I find how to move, because like most of the days I just sit or like play instruments.
Mm,
That's a bit different than when I'm acting on stage and dancing and running all around the stage. And I was actually laughing about it this week. I realized that I eat much less when I do this job than when I'm performing on stage because I don't move so much. So I need to have that moving so
Mm.
I my body feels good.
Yeah, yeah. And it is a, I think this the time conversation is, it's always going to be there, and we
Mm,
always, life situations change.
yes.
I guess is the bigger thing of what I can see even from everybody who's done on the program is to first kind of, like you said, of like, okay, first I just need to do this. But then you
Yeah.
kind of, when you push out of that, you start noticing more and more what the dance really is giving for you, and that inner motivation is grown differently. So
Yeah.
then that kind of feeds for just kind of learning to find a new routine when you need it, because
Yeah.
there's always going to be a changes in life, but it's just of how relaxed you can find yourself, like, okay, it will be okay. And if you
Yeah.
have already that experience that you found your own little new routine easily on different situations, it's much more calmer to the next one then. And
Yeah.
a little bit, what I've seen from your journey as well, it's been like you have went through a different kind of routines there.
Yeah.
So there's been a lot of different stages happening. So I guess of that is already feeding. Like, it's now we just need to find a new routine, and
Yeah.
it's okay. It's okay, and it will be okay.
Yeah.
Amazing. Well, what do you? I'm just saying on there. If who's ever watching it on live as well, you can put the last kind of questions if you have for Elena as well. But kind of my last questions on, if there is people who are now listening of going to the dance, or maybe they are doing dance but there's something kind of stopping them, what would you kind of encourage them, what would you be your little tip for them?
Um, well, I think my tip would be that invest to yourself and let yourself have this have dancing a routine in your life, and it doesn't need to be stressful. It will come as the way that it's perfect for any moment that is in any life, and just kind of make it happen.
Yeah, yeah, even on, if I have seen of you doing it with the middle of kids there running
Yeah.
sometimes around, sometimes
Yes.
there's the kids' friends running around and
Yes.
every kids, but we always find a way. Like I keep on kind of saying to all of, there is always a way. We just keep on going.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I'm a bit of a crazy mom. All of my children's friends probably think that way because they're always like, "What are you doing?" They come over and I'm dancing. I'm like, "I'm dancing." Okay.
Well, now that you've also been dancing at home, I think my last question for my curiosity is to hear, well, I haven't asked you this before, but have your boys been now, because they see you dancing a lot at home as well? Have they started to dance, or have they started to kind of had a little interest with dance?
My younger one has. He every time if I have a dance lesson that he sees that I dance, then after that he usually plays a dance lesson play. Like he starts dancing, and then sometimes he comes and dances with me some of the routines.
Oh, brilliant. Oh,
Yeah.
that's so amazing. I There's those little ones at home, they will always watch what the parents will be doing, and I believe that it's gonna be so catchy. Even if they might not do it now, but it will kind of come later.
Yeah.
But it's lovely to hear that it's already kind of coming into their lives. And
Yeah.
especially with boys, it's sometimes the bigger step to start really going for the dance thing. So amazing to hear that they have started to find it. Well, good. Well, I think we have all the questions there. It's been really lovely to hear about more about your journey and what it has really given for you. We have always kind of ended off, if you have any questions or last comments you want to kind of say before we end.
Hmm. I don't know. I guess um, I wish I would have found this sooner, like earlier than when I found it, because it would have been a really perfect thing to do as soon as COVID hit, because it was very boring at times just to be at home. But yeah, it's been a very nice kind of social lifesaver, even on many ways, to have every Sunday a meeting to get to talk to other people, and also like a feeling in my own body saver as well. So it's been very nice.
Amazing. Yeah, and there's a comment in the chat as well, like thanks girls, and yeah, never is too late. So yeah,
No.
now it's I think that's the which I always hoped of doing with these podcasts as well, of that you guys can come in here and share your experiences and what the dance has bring into your guys' lives, and kind of encouragement for others to keep on going. We sometimes need it. And then for people who are thinking of going for it, just to start it. It's going to be first, the step is always going to be hard, but we will find a way. And yeah, asking that help. But thank you so much, Elina, for joining us. And thanks for everybody there of listening live as well. And yes, we will have the next guest on next month. So October, there will be another lady coming to share her journey. So we will have now this podcast for once a month and see how far we're gonna go. But thank you, everybody. And yeah, we will be coming back soon then. We're wishing everybody an amazing day wherever you are. And thank you so much for listening to us. We will just say bye now.
Bye.